June 4, 1942, breaks over the vast Pacific. Waves crash against the hulls of American carriers. Alarms blare, Japanese Zeros scream from the sky. Torpedoes slice through the water. Chaos erupts at Midway Atoll. The fate of the war hangs by a thread. But imagine this. A shadow emerges from the horizon. Not a relic of the past, a ghost from the future. Sleek lethal, unstoppable. What if a modern destroyer joined the fray? The Battle of Midway, rewritten. This is no mere fantasy. It's a thought experiment grounded in history and technology. Picture it. Through some impossible rift, a wormhole, a temporal anomaly, a single U.S. Navy Arleigh Burke-class destroyer slips back in time. From the 21st century to 1942, armed with today's arsenal, integrated into the American task force, under Admiral Nimitz's command, the objective remains: defend Midway. Crush the Japanese fleet, but with one game-changing addition. A vessel that defies the era. What unfolds next? A cascade of altered destinies. Lives saved, empires shifted. The Pacific War transformed Enter the Arleigh Burke, a marvel of modern naval engineering. Over 500 feet long, displacing 9,000 tons. Crewed by 300 souls. But it's not size that matters, it's power. Precision dominance. At its core, the Aegis combat system. A radar network that sees everything. Tracks hundreds of targets simultaneously. Out to 200 miles. In 1942, radar was primitive, spotty limited. The Burke's and Spy 1, omniscient. It pierces clouds, detects incoming aircraft before they're visible. Misses nothing, weapons devastating. Vertical launch systems house Tomahawk cruise missiles, range 1,000 miles. Speed subsonic, but guided by GPS and inertial navigation. In this scenario, adapted to WWII maps. No wild torpedoes here, just surgical elimination. Anti-aircraft, Phalanx CIWS. Gatling guns, 4,500 rounds per minute. Shreds planes in seconds. Standard missiles, surface to air. Lock on and destroy from afar. Against Zeros and Vals overkill? Guns, a 5-inch Mark 45 cannon. Fires 20 rounds per minute. Smart shells, explosive. Guided plus torpedoes. ASROC anti-submarine rockets. Helicopters for scouting, though in 1942 skies they'd be godsends. Defenses, chaff. Flares. Electronic warfare suites that jam enemy radios. Armor, composite materials. Stealthy hull. Invisible to primitive sonar, consequences immediate. Overwhelming. This ship isn't just a fighter. It's a force multiplier. It turns the tide alone. But at what cost to history? Contrast this with reality. The actual Battle of Midway was a knife-edge victory. American carriers, Yorktown, Enterprise, Hornet, faced Yamamoto's armada. 4 Japanese carriers' battleships. Cruisers. No radar like today's. Pilots relied on eyes and luck. Dive bombers dropped unguided ordnance. Torpedoes often missed. Casualties mounted. Yorktown sank. Hundreds perished. Science of the era? Propeller-driven planes topped 300 knots. Guns were manual. Communications, Morse code, and flags. Nature played its part. Vast oceans hid fleets until too late. Now inject the Burke. Technology leaps 80 years. WWII ships were steel behemoths, vulnerable to bombs. The modern destroyer, agile, networked. It anticipates threats that 1942 admirals could only dream of countering. Historically, Midway hinged on code breaking and surprise. With this ship, surprise becomes certainty. The natural fog of war lifts. Science bends to human ingenuity. But realism tempers the drama. Fuel, ammo. The Burke carries finite supplies. No resupply in 1942. It fights smart. Not endlessly. Let's walk through it. Step by step, realistically. The battle begins. Dawn, June 4th. Japanese scouts spot the American fleet, but the Burke's radar detects them first. Miles out, missiles launch. Silent, deadly. 2 recon planes vanish in fireballs. Yamamoto's intelligence, blinded. The first wave approaches. 108 aircraft. Zeros escorting bombers. In reality, they hammered Yorktown. Here, the Burke integrates with the task force. Its Aegis links to carrier radios, crude but effective. It warns of the inbound horde. Anti-air missiles streak skyward. Dozens fall before reaching the carriers. Phalanx guns chatter, shredding survivors. American Wildcats, now forewarned, swarm the remnants. The Japanese wave crumbles. Minimal damage to U.S. ships. Counter-strike American dive bombers launch. But the Burke adds its might. Tomahawks target the Japanese carriers. Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, Hiryu. Guided by radar data, they fly low. Evade defenses, impacts are catastrophic. Fires rage, decks erupt. In hours, all 4 sink. Faster than history's timeline. Yamamoto presses on. Battleships advance, submarines lurk. The berth shifts, torpedoes deploy against subs. Guns pound cruisers. Electronic jamming scrambles Japanese orders. Chaos spreads. By midday, the Japanese fleet retreats, shattered. Losses, minimal on the American side. Yorktown survives, perhaps reinforced. The chain reaction? Midway secured, no invasion. The Pacific campaign accelerates. Guadalcanal falls sooner. Island hopping intensifies. Japan, deprived of carriers, faces earlier defeat. Atomic bombs may be unnecessary. The war shortens, millions live. But ripples extend, post-war alliances shift. Cold War dynamics alter, technology's leap exposes vulnerabilities. What secrets does the berth reveal? Reverse engineered by allies? The future, unraveled in the past. In this altered timeline, a single modern destroyer redefines victory. It exposes the fragility of history, how one technological edge can topple empires. Midway was pivotal in reality, a turning point born of courage and code breaking. With this twist, it becomes a testament to progress. Yet it warns us, war's evolution never stops. Today's destroyers face hypersonic threats, cyber warfare. What if the cycle repeats? Reflect on the bigger picture. Technology shapes destiny, but so does human will. In our world, Midway taught resilience. In this what if, it teaches dominance. The ocean remembers. The waves carry echoes. What if next time it's not a destroyer, but something even more advanced?